Okay, well, thank you so much for joining us today. We are the Disability Accommodations at Cal State Channel Islands, and we're all about accessibility, advocacy, and inclusion. And we're looking forward to presenting information about our program and really providing you a warm welcome to CI and to our program. So our our presenters today are myself. I'm Valerie Serino Paez, and I'm the Associate Director there at Disability Accommodations and Support Services. Now, I know that that's quite a bit of a name, so throughout the presentation, you will hear us say DASS, D-A-S-S, and throughout the time there at campus, you'll most likely hear DASS office. So it's comparable to Mar Park College has the access. We have DASS. Our second presenter today that you're going to hear from is Bonnie Landau, and she's our transition and retention counselor for DASS. And our third counselor is going to be Ramon Chavez. And we all three are looking forward to sharing some time with you this morning and giving you an overview of our program and answer any questions that you may have. So we will first go over what is DASS. We will review what type of accommodations that we provide. And we also want to leave some time for questions and answers for you. And at the end, we will go over applying for DASS services. And by the end of this particular orientation overview, you'll have the ability to have placed an application into for your services and follow up with an email. Now, I just want to let you know that this is our very beginning of our support for you. We will look forward to continued conversations with you. This is just the first of many, but you have a team and a program that's looking forward to supporting you while you come to CI. So at CI, I'd like to share what our philosophy is. We believe that accessibility is a shared responsibility of all campus community members. What that means is that DASS is there for you, but we work in partnership with the campus to make sure that every program is accessible for students with disabilities, and we serve as a liaison for the campus and provide information to make sure that all of our programs, not just DASS, but all of our programs and events that we provide at CI is accessible to all of our students. So what is DASS? DASS is actually, we're there to provide services to students. That is always our first priority. In our mission statement, we have that we place students at the center of their experience. And DASS is completely committed to that mission. We not only provide services to you that are mandatory, such as the note-taking and test-taking, but we also like to explore and expand our services for the development of you as a student. We have developed workshops, study skills workshops, we have career workshops, and many other services beyond what we provide for accommodations. And not only that is that, as I had stated, DASS serves as a liaison, a catalyst of information for our campus community members. We work closely with faculty, with other staff members to make sure that we provide a strong, inclusive environment for you and a very supportive environment as well. And so it's not just DASS, but you have your whole campus to support you. So who do we serve? We will serve any student with a disability that is looking to self-identify. So the difference between our campus and high school, as you have learned at your community colleges, is that the students do have to self-identify. So any student who comes forward and registers for services and has a documentation to support a disability will receive services. We also help not only permanent disabilities, but also temporary disabilities as well. Now, I wanted to share this slide with you. It shows and demonstrates that the majors of DASS students are varied. You'll see that we have students throughout our disciplines. Here we have anthropology, art, biology, many of them, but I think our number one major is psychology, and that goes along with the campus as well. We have a very large and strong psychology department, so it's a very popular major there. So just want to let you know that whatever major you are enrolled in, we are very familiar with all the different majors, and we have contacts with the departments as well. So services that DASS provides is variable. It will be comparable to those that you receive at Access. Although we're similar, there are also some differences. We have student appointments, whether it's new student appointments, returning student appointments, academic accommodations, housing accommodations for any students who wish to live on housing and request housing accommodations such as a single room. We work closely with our colleagues there at housing. We have support programs. As I had shared with you, we have workshops, study skills workshops, we have career workshops. We also have a partnership with the Department of Rehabilitation where they come on campus or they meet with our students virtually to provide them information about the Department of Rehabilitation and how that could support the students through their educational journey with resources and also some financial support as well. So those are just a variety of some of our support services that we provide beyond the accommodations for classrooms. So just a few things that for you to keep in mind. DASS does not offer specialized tutoring with students with disabilities. I'm familiar with some community colleges where they have tutoring services directly into their program and the students go into their office for tutoring. DASS believes that the tutoring programs should be accessible to all students on campus. So we have a great partnership with the tutoring centers on campus, both in the Learning Resource Center and also the STEM Center provides tutoring services. And all of our students go to those different programs to receive tutoring services. Now, if students need any type of accommodation while they were at the tutoring centers on campus, we will work in partnership with those programs to ensure that those accommodations are placed. One thing is also DASS does not provide evaluations for disabilities such as learning disability testing or psychological evaluations. That is the responsibility of the student. But if you are enrolled in your Access program, you should already have that documentation and that should not be a challenge for you. So today you're hearing from myself and Bonnie and Ramon, but there is a full DASS staff there ready and excited to assist you. We have Michelle Resnick, who's our director, and we also have Iram, who's our administrative analyst, Selena, who's our assistant coordinator, who assists with notes. And we have two team members, Jerry Garcia and Emily Smith, who are there and ready to assist you with all of your assistive technology needs and your alternative media needs. In addition to the full-time staff, we have 5 student assistants who are absolutely wonderful and usually are the first people that you see and speak to when you walk into the office there at the reception center.
All right, now let's get into the good stuff, right? Let's start talking accommodations and how that kind of looks at CI. So we offer academic accommodations. These are individualized and they are determined for students on an individual basis. Different students have different accommodations, so that's why we do the new student appointment to kind of find out what types of accommodations will be provided. They're documented, must be supported by documented effects of the disability. So we always ask for some kind of documentation from, in your situation, if you had documentation from Access or whatever disability services program you are transferring over from, that documentation would serve as adequate documentation to be able to sit down and work with you. And it kind of gives us a good idea of what accommodations you received at the community college level and what accommodations we can go ahead and provide you at DASS. There are some differences, not too many, but there are some differences as Valerie mentioned earlier in one of the previous slides. And an important thing to know is that we cannot alter the learning outcome of this class. What that means is accommodations may not fundamentally alter nature objectives of the course or any technical skills required. So basically, if you are asking for, extensions on assignments, those types of, there would be a different type of thing that we call modifications. So that would be a totally different conversation we can have, but that's kind of one of the differences as well from community college and transferring over to a 4-year state university, is that we don't provide, extensions on assignments or, additional excused absences. Those types of things are what we call modifications. So we would have to sit down with the student and have to talk about how that's going to look like, and there are no guarantees. But that's something that we can talk about when we sit down in our new student intake. If those are things that you were receiving, if those are accommodations you were receiving in the past, and how they would look like moving forward with DASS.
Hey, Ramon, can I just say one thing on the documentation? Sure. This is Bonnie. Moore Park Access Center right now does not have access to your documentation because it's in paper form and they're not allowed to go to campus. I have received an email from Christina Embry for each of you verifying that you are registered with their program. So for right now, we will use that as verification of the need for the accommodations, but we will, in the fall, when they do have access to their documentation, we will need you to get the full documentation from them. So I just wanted to let you know that we kind of have that strange situation right now.
Thank you, Bonnie. Mm-hmm. All right, so accommodations and support services. So these are kind of what our accommodations look like at DASS. So we have note-taking accommodations. I know in community college, for the most part, you get, peer note takers that somebody is assigned in the classroom. They take the notes for you, they upload them, and then you download them. And that's great. We also have that, but we also have a great resource that's called Note-Taking Express. The way Note-Taking Express works is that you essentially get to record the lecture. You upload it onto the Note-Taking Express website, which is a third-party company that we work with. They have professionals that listen to the recording, convert the recording into notes for you, and then have them ready for you to download within 48 hours. I like to brag about that because I know that not too many universities have Note-Taking Express, and I believe we're one of 2 CSUs that actually have it. So I'm proud to say that, DASS CI has that. So that's a cool accommodation that we have that's available. It might be a little different from the community college. We also have, lecture recording as well, alternative testing, which gives you, extended test time. Usually it's time and a half, but, it's on an individual case basis. We provide a distraction reduced testing environment. What that means is that, you come over to our center, we set you up in one of our rooms, and then you take your exams in a nice quiet environment. We also provide enlarged exams, breaks, computer access, and scribes. And we also have alternative media. So we have e-text, we have audio as well. We have Braille for students that are visually impaired, and we have media reader providers as well. So we have, quite a lengthy list of accommodations as well that we provide. We also have sign language interpreters. We have captioning services, remote or on site as well, and then we have assistive technology as well that's available for our students. Any questions regarding some of the accommodations that I've mentioned?
I had a quick question.
Sure.
So, being in this program, does this allow us to also get to speak to? Well, do you guys have your own set of counselors that would help us go through how to what's the word? Not apply, but like just choose our classes before, like for new students, if we want to go before orientation comes, and would we through this program be helped in choosing our classes and courses?
So that's a great question. And actually, yes, there are counselors available for this. So Bonnie is one of the counselors, and I am the second counselor. And you would actually be on my caseload, so I would be your counselor. And that's how that would work. And during the new student appointment, we would sit down with you and talk about how that looks like. We do not sit down and talk about, what kind of classes you should be taking, or, we have a different department for that. That's academic advising. And we would refer you to them to go ahead and talk about what kind of classes you should be taking and how that's going to look.
And during
Thank you.
orientation,
Mm-hmm.
You will go through registering for your classes.
Yeah.
We had talked about trying to do a registration process for just DASS students, but I don't know that we're going to get that going this summer because of everything that's going on. Val, do you know anything about that?
At this moment, we don't. We're just planning to move forward with our students attending the virtual orientation that is being planned. I do know that they have a separate orientation just for transfer students, and that's where you will meet the academic advising department, who will give you information about classes and also how to register for your classes. Once you are registered for your classes and then registered for DASS, for the following semester, you will be approved for priority registration for the following semester. So that's one of our most frequently used accommodation for students, and that's to provide the time needed to let us know what classes that you're enrolled in and what accommodations that you will be seeking for those classes. So
Yeah,
stay tuned for information about orientation for transfer students.
Yep. Yeah, and that's a great point. Thanks, Val. And also, that's kind of one of the differences between DASS and the community college level is we refer students to different resources on campus, as opposed to like the one-stop shop that you might have at the community college, where you go and you get tutoring, you get help with academic, advising as well, and you get all these different types of services. We mainly focus on the accommodations. So you come to us for the accommodations. If you need help with classes, registering for, or like adding or dropping classes or financial aid, whatever, we refer you to the different departments on campus, and they will help you with that. We do have a close relationship with many of these departments, and we know these people personally. So we will refer you to these different departments on campus, and they will definitely assist you with whatever it is that you need.
Yeah. Any other questions? And Val made a good point. If you don't want to ask the question out loud, you can also type it in the chat room.
I have a quick question on taking notes. Like, is laptop usually allowed by like teachers? Is that like typically the case for CSUCI?
Well,
Um,
Go ahead.
some faculty members, do not permit students to have their laptops in class. However, if you utilize it for a tool to take your notes, we encourage students to share that information with the counselors doing their new student appointment, and they can approve that as an accommodation. But there are just a few faculty on campus that do not permit use of laptop, and that's because some of them are still doing research on their topics, and it's for academic freedom rights that they have. But rest assured, if you do need it for an accommodation, your counselor will speak to you and approve that as a accommodation for you, and the faculty will be notified.
All right, thank you so much.
Sure, you're welcome.
And yeah, Nikon, I see your question there. Yeah, you don't get priority registration your first semester into the university. You will get it for each semester going forward. One of the reasons for that is they have to articulate your classes. So they have to look at what you've taken, and so that you know what you still need to take. And that takes, just because that department is so busy with so many incoming students, it doesn't usually get done until right before registration or orientation. So.
Yeah, and that's one of the unfortunate things as a transfer student. I also was a transfer student. Is when you arrive to a four-year state university as a transfer student, you kind of get left with the kind of like the scrap classes, the leftover classes that are still available for you. Which is kind of the unfortunate thing as a student, but the priority registration definitely will kick in that following semester, and you will definitely get to get all the classes and the times that you want to, which will definitely help you in your academic journey as well. It's just that first semester is always a little rough, but hang in there because it will get better that second semester, and you will all have priority registration.
Okay, we had a general question that was submitted to me by a student who just wanted confirmation that students with the last name A through L have Bonnie as a counselor, and Ramon has students through M through Z, and that's absolutely correct.
It's actually A through K.
Oh, I'm sorry, A through K.
That's okay. I know it seems like a weird place to split it, but it works historically. It's A through K. Yeah, and then L through Z.
L through Z. And so that's absolutely correct. We also, have other team members, myself and also Michelle, that provide counseling appointments when needed. Sometimes our counselors need to attend a meeting or so, and if a student really needs to see someone in the office, there's always someone there to assist. Also, we look forward to you creating a partnership with your counselor, but just know that in one day when you have an appointment, we might have to have other people help you, but for the most part, those are your counselors.
Great. So you guys still free to, if you think of anything, to ask questions. But I'm going to move into the next part, which is we're going to teach you guys how to apply for services. And I know, Nikon, you already did this. You're welcome to hang out if you want to, but I think you've already done this step. So, so applying for services at DASS is really simple. You do it online. We have an application where we ask a lot of different questions, and we use that information to determine what services you qualify for and what we can provide when you come to CI. And so right now, if you want to open up a browser window on your computer and you can minimize the Zoom window, we're going to go through it step by step. And if you don't want to do it as we go along, that's okay too, because we are recording this, and so that you can get the recording later and go through it step by step on your own. And once you do fill out this application, I will be uploading that confirmation of registration with Access Center at Moore Park College, because like I said before, Christina had sent me that for each of you. And then you will be ready to go for a new student appointment. And we do not see new students for fall until the last week of July. And the reason for that is we provide you a lot of information in that appointment. And if we tell it to you now, it's just not gonna be retained over the summer. We wanna tell it to you when you're able to utilize it immediately, because there are some things that you do to utilize services so that you can request which accommodations you want for each class. Okay, so if you have a browser window open, follow along and you can fill it out as we go. I'm going to try to go through it at a paced method. If I'm not giving enough time, please just raise your hand or shoot a chat note, okay? Okay, so one thing you should know, applying for services is optional. So if you feel like you need them, then you should apply. If you don't feel like you need them, you don't have to. There's no requirement. And even after you apply for services, you don't have to use them. You get to use which services you want for each class. For example, for extended test time, some students only need that for classes that have math in them. They don't need it for any other class. So you get to choose when to use them. And professors are only notified about what services you've requested to use. They're never notified anything about your disability. All they know is that you're approved to get services, and it's only the services that you select to use for their class. So we're really big on confidentiality. It's really important to us that we only share what they need to know, which is what services they need to provide you in the classroom or be aware that you're using.
Yes, I just wanted to add something about faculty notifications. This is Ms. Val. I just wanted to add that at Cal State Channel Islands, once the student registers for services and submits their request and is approved, that faculty notification letter is sent electronically to the faculty members. I do know that many community colleges provide an accommodation letter to the student, and the student delivers it to the faculty. But at Cal State Channel Islands, we try to be as student friendly, and also we're a green campus, so we're trying to minimize the paperwork that's needed to provide accommodations. So the faculty will receive the accommodation directly from the automated system, DASS Online.
Yeah. That's one of the big differences in how we manage services. And that saves you time, and it also has us have a record of everything that's been delivered to the faculty. So to apply for services is a simple 6-step process. We're going to go through each step at a time. And the first step is simply to go in your browser to our website, which is the CSU, actually the first step is to get your information ready. Get out your student ID number and your MyCI email. If your MyCI email is not yet active, then please use an email that is active. It's important to, that we be able to communicate with you via email. So if you have not logged in and seen emails through your MyCI and you don't know if it's active, use your personal email or your Moore Park email, and we'll get that changed in the fall when you come for your new student meeting. So get your info ready, and then now you're going to go to the website. So our website is www.csuci.edu/DASS. So I'll just give you guys a minute for those of you who are following along to get there to that webpage. Hopefully it's pretty simple. So once you're on the web page, you're going to scroll down a little bit, and halfway down the page, you're going to see this blue button that says Apply for Services. And you're going to click this blue button. And by doing that, you are going to come to another web page that provides you information about applying for services. At the top, it shows new students versus returning students. And you're considered a new student because even though you've been a student for a while, you're new to CI. And if you click on the new student link at the top, it takes you down to this section right below that gives you the link, Apply for DASS Services. And if you click that link, Apply for DASS Services, it will take you into the application that we will now begin. Am I going too fast, or is everybody okay?
Bonnie, I just have a general comment from a student that is having challenges with their audio. It seems like it's going in and out. I'm not too sure if anybody else has that challenge, but I just want to reassure everybody that you will receive a recording of this.
Yeah.
But if there is any problems with audio, just send me a message and I will let the presenters know. Thank you.
If you're having issues with audio, I think you guys all have your video turned off, but if whoever's having problems with the audio, if you turn off your video, sometimes that helps, because usually if you're having trouble with audio, it's an internet issue, and turning off your video limits how much internet's being used by your computer. So sometimes that helps, sometimes not. You can hear me clearly, Val, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. Okay, yeah, definitely. So we will definitely send you an email with the link. If you once you put in your application and I have your emails, we will send you an email with a link. We're also going to be sending it to Christina Embry at Access Center, so you can always get it from her as well. So you will have a link to the video and be able to watch it through from the beginning. Okay. So once you click that Apply for Services link, then you're going to be in the actual application. And so we need you to just go through the steps in the application. And I get that it's a very long page and it's got a lot of information. So I am happy to sit right now and wait for you guys to do it, because that way, if there's any questions, as you do it, you can let us know. What I am going to do is, because we're going to wait and it could be 5, 10, maybe longer minutes, I'm going to pause the recording so we don't have a huge gap in the recording. So is there anybody who does not want me to wait? Like, is there anybody who's going to do this after the video? Or are people following along right now? Let's see. Anybody saying?
We have one student who's saying that they're going to go ahead and do this afterwards.
Excellent.
And we have another student who is going to do it now. So
Perfect.
we have both, and that's okay.
Okay. That's totally okay. So I'm going to just pause the recording right now. That way we don't feel pressured to get back to the video and keep moving with the presentation. So you guys go ahead and start filling it out. We are here to ask questions. You just let us know, okay? Do it via chat or just ask out loud. I'm pausing. Okay, so I know a lot of you started the application and maybe some of you finished it, and that's great. And I know we really appreciate the time that you put into doing the applications, because this is important information for us to be able to assist you at school. And so we really appreciate you taking the time. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. Back to my PowerPoint. Okay. So providing the supporting documentation, we talked about this, and Access Center doesn't have the ability to get your full file right now, but I did get an email from Christina Embry for each of you verifying that you are registered with them, and we will use that for now. And in the fall, we'll get your full documentation. So once your application is complete, you will get an email from one of our student assistants that will ask you to schedule an appointment for your new student appointment. And we, like I said before, we schedule those appointments starting at the end of July. There's a lot of information that we give to you, because not only is that an appointment to determine what accommodations you will need at CI, but we also give you a lot of information about how our services work, as well as resources on campus to assist you when you're a student there. And that appointment lasts about an hour. So hopefully in the fall, we'll be doing in-person appointments so you can come to campus. I don't know for sure now, but if we don't do it in person, we can at least do it via Zoom. And once you do the new student appointment and we approve you for services, then you'll be registered with DASS, and then you'll be able to use our services the entire time you're at CI. You don't have to do that appointment again. You, if you want changes to your accommodations, or you're having a particular struggle, we might do an additional appointment to discuss that. We do ask that new students to the campus do at least one follow-up appointment in the fall. So 3 or 4 weeks after your new student appointment, we'll ask you to come in again just so we can check on you and make sure you're using the services properly and you don't have any questions. And one of the biggest differences, if any of you guys use testing, we have a testing center on campus, and you need to request your exams ahead of time. It's a little bit different than how Access does it. And so that often in that follow-up appointment is we spend time helping you guys understand how to request those exams. So, but beyond the new student appointment and the follow-up appointment in your first semester, you're not required to come and see us, but we always encourage you to reach out if you're having any challenges. We like to be your resource on campus. And it could just be like you're having a problem and you just don't know who to reach out to. For example, recently I had a student who was having some difficulty completing a form that needed a signature from financial aid, and she didn't know who to approach in financial aid, and due to the switch to virtual business, it was hard to navigate. So I assisted her in finding a point person to send the form to. So things like that we're happy to help with.
Well, one other, I'm sorry, Bonnie, one other difference as well from, from my understanding, community college and the four-year state university is once you have that new student appointment with us and you go in there and input your accommodation, your faculty will receive what we call faculty notification letters via email. And that's one of the differences from community college, because I understand in community college, you have to go up to the professor and hand them like a piece of paper that says kind of singling you out as a student with disabilities. At CI, we try to keep it as confidential as possible. So we would just send a confidential email to the faculty stating the disability, the accommodations that you are receiving. We don't talk anything about any disabilities, about anything. We try to keep it as confidential as possible. That's one of the differences between community college and four-year state university as well.
Yes, I would just like to add or support in regards to faculty notification letters. The faculty only receives information about your approved accommodation, but as Ramon said, it's highly confidential. We will not provide them any information at all, whether it's on your faculty notification letter or if they have a question and call. We do not provide any information about your disability related need for accommodations to anybody, to faculty. The only thing faculty needs to know is what accommodations that you're approved for, and also how we could work together to serve you there while you're at CI. Also, students have asked in the past if it comes up on transcripts if you're enrolled in our program, and the question is absolutely not. You being registered and enrolled in the program does not show up on transcripts as either.
So do you guys have any questions about applying for our services and what that process looks like?
One thing that I did want to add is that we are there for you for all of your disability accommodation needs. However, I do encourage you to see your counselor, not even once or twice in semester, but make an appointment if you just want to talk about other things, especially during your first semester. It's really important. We want to make sure that you know that the whole campus is supporting you, and we are connected to many people on campus. DASS, the Disability Accommodation Support Services, is actually one program through the Division of Student Affairs. We are under the Retention, Outreach, and Inclusive Student Services division. And that has many different colleagues, such as Student Support Services. We also have the orientation colleagues. We have many other services within the Division of Student Affairs, and we also have a lot of colleagues throughout the campus in financial aid and registrar's office. And when you first transfer to CI, we want to make sure that you have a team that can connect you to anybody on campus that you need to speak to.
And it's definitely important to get these resources as soon as possible, right? You're all transfer students. You're not going to be at CI as long as, a freshman that's transferring, straight out of high school. So just things to consider. We do provide a lot of these resources, and we do have a great partnership with many of these resources on campus to help you succeed as a student and as a professional once you're ready to enter the field as well.
Okay. Well, if we don't have any more questions now, we're really happy that you joined us today. And, this is a great opportunity to see you guys and to welcome you to the CI family. And we are available to you. In the chat, I put our email addresses. If you fill out an application, you'll get an email from our department, which you can always use that email address to ask questions, and it will be routed to one of us. We're here as a resource. We know it's a big deal. This is a huge milestone. You're ready to go to your four-year college. We know it's a lot. And so we want to be here for you to make the process easier.
Thank you so much. I actually have just one more question.
Yeah.
Is there any psychological testing, like for prescribing, your disability, and as well as seeing which accommodations would suit you?
No, we don't do testing like that in our department. I'm pretty sure Moorpark does do that, so you might ask them that before you leave.
Yeah, I definitely should actually take advantage of that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
Although we don't do assessment, as Bonnie said, I think it's a great idea if you reach out to the Moore Park resources if you needed additional evaluation. However, we do have a CAPS, which is counseling and psychological services on campus, and there's clinicians there, and there's also a referral to a psychiatrist if students need that particular service, but they do not provide a complete evaluation for DASS services.
Okay, I see what you mean. All right. Thank you guys very much. Go Dolphins. I'm glad you guys did this. This was really good.
Oh, good. We're glad that it's helpful.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Welcome, welcome.
Yes, we just welcome. We're just so excited. We're as excited as you are. You worked really hard at Moore Park to get to this point, and you're ready. And you know, we just want to let you know that we're equally as excited as you, and we're all there ready to support you.
Thank you so much. I'm really appreciative that you said that. You guys have a great one. All right.
Thank you. You too now. Bye.
You
All
too.
right.
Bye.
You guys. Bye.
Bye. Have a good day, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.